Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today, we have the all-new Civivi Brazen, a new for 2021 model. I know that's really easy to say for Civivi because they come out with a whole lot of stuff, but I was excited about this one because it's a Tanto. I expounded my love of Tantos in another video. I'm not going to rehash that here. It will be one of the suggested videos at the end of this video if you want to go check that out. But I do like Tantos. It is available in a drop point as well. And very reasonably priced, $49.30. You're getting D2 steel G10 on this particular model. There are some higher priced ones with Damascus coming out soon. I think those are only in the drop point. Several different colors, blacked out blades, not blacked out blades. I chose the purple with the stonewash, which is why you're seeing this slightly different background, because my usual background is purple and this disappears into it. So I pulled out the burlap. It's fake burlap. It's just paper. That's what all my backgrounds are. I may actually do a video about where I get my backgrounds for Instagram and stuff. They're all fake. Anyway, I was excited with this, not only because it's a Tanto, not only because it's purple, but I just like the overall look of it. I just think it's a very, very, very good looking knife. A lot of the usual Civivi stuff. Deep carry pocket clip, recessed screws. Not a recessed clip on this one. Not too uncommon on these sort of lower to mid-price Civivis. Some of the higher end ones have the clip recessed as well. I like the way they did the lanyard hole. It's just put in the back spacer here, the very small back spacer. It is right-hand, left-hand carry. All that usual Civivi goodness you expect, ceramic bearings and detent ball and all that stuff. It has the black thumb studs on it. Now, I did not like that on the kite fin. I just didn't think it fit very well. But I don't know, on the Brazen, I think it looks all right. They all have the black liners and all the black hardware, and I don't know, I think the black thumb stud actually looks okay on this one. I don't know, I just didn't like it on the kite fin, but it looks all right on this one, especially on the Tanto, because it's kind of an aggressive looking knife anyway. And you add that little bit more of aggressiveness to it. So let's do some specs and size comparisons. I don't have the squares out here, the 1/2 inch squares that I usually have, so we're going to do a few more size comparisons than usual so that you get a good idea of what size this thing is. It is a blade length of 3.5 inches, overall length of 8 inches, blade thickness pretty darn thin at 0.11 inches, 0.1115 if you want to get really precise. Handle thickness of 0.48 inches and a weight, according to my scales, of 3.85 ounces. So a little bit above that ounce an inch, but not dramatically so. Size comparisons start out with some of our usuals. We have your Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And try and line the pivots up here, and the Para 3. As you can see, there's a kind of halfway between, I would say, in overall size. And bring out the usual Benchmades, and then we'll bring out several Civivis. It seems like if you own one Civivi, you probably own a lot of them, so it's good to compare it to the other ones. The Benchmade 940 and your full-size bug out. Yeah, about the same length as the 940, just slightly larger than the full-size bug out. And now bring out some Civivis here. A couple of the newer ones. We have the Riffle that I just recently reviewed as well, which disappears into this background. So there's nothing I can do anymore. It feels like every background I have, there's some knife that disappears. And we have the Ortis, my 2020 budget knife of the year. So a little bit bigger than the Ortis, about the same size as the Riffle. A couple more, I guess you'd call classic models. I didn't get the shredder out. I mean, I did get the shredder out. I didn't get the backlash out for this one, and I just put the wrong knife away. Juggling knives and not paying attention. Looking at the next knife instead of picking up the one that, yep, you know what I mean. Here's the shredder. I didn't get the backlash out this time. I'm not sure why. I just didn't. The shredder is one of their larger models, and one of their best sellers, and always whenever Civivi comes up, one that everybody raves about, one of the most, is the Elementum. So also in purple. You can see significantly larger than the Elementum, significantly smaller than the shredder. So now let's talk about this blade. Well, it's D2, and I wish it wasn't. And it's nothing wrong with that. It's just Civivi's D2 is really good. There's nothing wrong with it. I've never had an issue with their D2. For D2, it's pretty easy to sharpen. It holds an edge perfectly fine. And honestly, for a Tanto blade, it's probably not that bad a choice, but the drop point's in the same steel. I just was really excited seeing them go to more 14C28N, like on the riffle, using more the 9CR18 MOV that they're kind of famous for. I really like that steel. I like 14C28. It's just easier to sharpen, and it holds an edge plenty long enough. And I was kind of excited to see, the D2 start to go away a little bit. But it's back on this one. It's been back on others as well. This is not the only one. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just tired of it, I guess. So many really nice, Chinese-made D2 flippers that this choosing D2 again kind of makes it sink back into that sea of all those other knives. But it is a really nice blade shape. It is very, very sharp. It is one slight oddity, though, that's kind of an outlier for Civivi. Thickness behind the edge is about 22 thousandths on the primary edge and 25 up here on the Tanto. Not overly dramatically thick, but it is for a Civivi. Normally you're looking at 13, 14, 15, 16 thousandths tops on most Civivis. So kind of surprising to see that. But it does still have a very thin blade stock, and it does have an excellent tip on it, which Tantos are known for. For being blade stock this thin, you could still pierce some stuff with that. And that's probably why the thickness behind the edge is so thick. It is kind of a product of Tantos. I have noticed that a lot of them do have slightly thicker behind the edge, thickness. So maybe the drop point will be thinner behind the edge. I don't know. Those aren't available yet. This is the first one they released. So I'll check out one of the drop points and I will let you know. But it still works great. It looks awesome. It's kind of surprising it's that thick behind the edge. And I just wish it wasn't D2 for purely personal reasons. I will admit, purely personal reasons. The ergonomics are out frickin' standing. Pocket clip is angled just right, lands right in the crotch of my palm, as I like to say, perfectly, no hot spots whatsoever. I thought I'd be able to feel this, but I really can't. I think maybe some people's hands you might feel it. My hands, I don't really feel it. No forward choil or anything like that, but everything lands where you want to. I wouldn't mind if the jimping went a little bit farther up, but that's like the slightest little nitpick. And I guess, you can feel the jimping on the lock bar, just a smidge, but I think the ergos are outstanding on it. Definitely this is a knife I could use working all day and be perfectly comfortable with. G10 is plenty grippy enough, but it's not overly so, which is a good segue into how does it carry? Bring out Yale Levi's. Pocket clip tension is excellent. Again, the G10 there's some tension there, or some traction there, but not enough to destroy your pants or anything. I actually had a comment the other day. Somebody said, who cares if it destroys your pants? A lot of people. That is the answer to that, by the way, sir. A lot of people care about that. So it is a question I get all the time. And people modify their knives to their pants don't get shredded to pieces. You're taking your knife in and out all day. It's annoying when your $50, $70, $80 jeans get destroyed. So, hand slides right by it perfectly fine. There's a little bit of jimping on that flipper tab, and you can kind of feel it, but it's not enough to damage your widow pinky, as I say. It's perfectly fine. And again, the weight, kind of even Stevens. It's not amazing, but it's not bad either. And action is really good. I know that I would just say it's a Civivi, because they're all pretty good, and this is no exception there, but the thumb stud on it works superbly. Most Civivi thumb studs work pretty good, but some of them are not as good as others. This one is outstanding. And I really like a thumb stud deployment lately. Again, same thing with the D2 flippers. You just kind of get tired of them as a reviewer after a while. So many come across my desk that I just get tired of them. I would not mind if this didn't have a flipper tab at all. If I was a knife modder, first thing I would do is just remove that flipper tab. The thumb stud is so good, it just doesn't need to be there. I'm not criticizing them for having included a flipper tab. I'm just saying that the thumb stud's so good, they've kind of made it superfluous. So, and at the end of the day, this thing is $49. Not bad at all. I really do like it. And with the coated blades, they're the same. So this is the only one you get with the Stonewash blade and the Tanto. And then you can also get a fully blacked out version, or there's a blacked out blade with a burgundy G10, which looks really cool also. There are even more versions when the drop point comes out. Those aren't available yet, but when the drop point comes out, it comes in even more variations. Some micarta, some with Damascus, some other colors. But I do like them making a Tanto. To my memory, it's the first Civivi Tanto. I could be wrong about that, but to my memory, it's the first one that I recall. Somebody correct me down in the comments if I'm wrong, and I'll pin it. But I think they did a really good job on it. Again, a little thicker behind the edge for Civivi, but not for normal people. Civivi just has very thin behind the edge, and this one is just kind of normal thickness. But yeah, I like the feel of it. I think it's a great little knife. I know this is not the most positive Civivi review I've ever given, but the overall package, I really, really like. It's a slightly different for a Civivi, but I really like it. And again, the D2 is fine. It's just a personal thing. I'm just tired of it. But great knife, great quality, all the usual TA hardware, all the Civivi stuff you expect to see. And really like this one. For $49.30, pretty hard to go wrong. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.